Hey guys, so today's video is going to be something a little different. Recently I've gotten surgery and I wanted to talk about my experience. The day before my surgery I watched a lot of YouTube videos of people's experiences and they all seemed really different, so I decided to make a video about my experience. So I'm going to split this video into like 3 parts. First part is like the symptoms, the second part is the surgery, and then the third part is going to be the recovery. So the symptoms. Basically, my periods have always been normal, like very short, light, mild cramps. It was never to a point where it was really, really bad. And the first symptom, I think, is when my periods changed. That started back in October of 2019. And the only weird thing about it was my periods were longer, heavier, and I started getting kind of severe cramps to a point where I can't get out of bed. And I thought that was normal because, you know, your period changes all the time. Like, sometimes you'll have bad cramps, sometimes you won't. So I didn't really think much of it for a couple months until in January of 2020, I had an experience where I realized I actually have a problem and that I should get checked out. And that was when I got my period. It was at school when I was in class, and it kind of like hit me like a truck once I like sat down in my seat, and I started getting these heat flashes, and I was like taking off my sweatshirt, taking off my hat, and I was literally about, like, I thought I was gonna die. Like, the cramps just hit me so hard. And it was to a point where I couldn't stay in class anymore. Like, I needed to get out of there as soon as possible. So, like, I got up. Then once I got up, I realized I started feeling, like, really lightheaded. And so, like, I was sitting in front of the class, too. So, it was so embarrassing because it was a big lecture hall and everyone was looking at me. But I didn't give a fuck. I just needed to get out of that classroom. So, like, I packed all my shit and I, like, ran out of the class.
Differentiate means the same thing.
Once I opened the door to leave, I saw like black dots, and that's when I knew. I was like, shit, like I'm gonna faint. So I quickly went to sit down in one of the chairs, and I FaceTimed one of my friends that goes to Temple, and I was like, you need to hurry up and come to the altar hall, which was the hall that I was at, and bring like as many Advil pills as you can because like I'm going to die. She came right away and gave me the Advil pills, and she just said that I literally looked dead on that chair, and I told her, I was like, you need to call 911. Like, you need to call the ambulance because the pain I had was the worst pain I've ever experienced from from period cramps. Like, I've never had that pain before. So I literally thought it was concerning because I've had periods before, I've had bad cramps before. It was never to the point where I literally almost fainted because of the pain. I didn't call my gynecologist just yet, which I should have done. I regret that right away. Like, I should have called her, but I just thought it was just one of those days where I was having a bad period cramp. And February came, and I was about to leave for Cancun because it was our spring break at the end of February. And I got my period like right before, like 3 days before I was supposed to go. And I was okay the first like 3 days. Like, everything was like normal. So like light periods, like no bad cramps, like nothing. I was leaving on a Monday, and the day before, which was a Sunday, during like around 12 p.m., I remember it perfectly, I started getting these weird cramps. And it hit me like a bus again around like 12 p.m. And I took some pills, whatever. 3 hours later, like the cramps didn't really go away. So I was like, what is going on? And I still waited the day, like throughout the day. Like, I just waited for them to go away, but they never went away. And I didn't pack for my trip at all. So I decided to just fuck it and do it the next day, like right before my flight. So like I woke up at like 5 a.m. in the morning just to pack, and I couldn't even walk. Like, I was walking like a grandma, holding my like stomach. It was terrible. When I woke up before my trip, the next day, I still had those cramps, and it was just terrible. And I had to get up. I had to get my suitcase. I just threw whatever I found in my closet just so I have something when I go. And yeah, so I just had to suck it up. And then I went to like the airport, like I met up with my friends, and the cramps didn't go until like the second day I was there. So even when when I landed in Mexico, I still had those cramps, and I had it the next day, but slowly they went away. Thank God. Looking back now, I realized I should have went to the ER because I was unaware that I had a cyst. Like, I didn't know what was going on, and I was scared, like, because of that cramping, the fact that it didn't stop with, like, in 3 days, like, it just did not stop. It was, like, constant. There could have been something seriously wrong. I didn't go to the ER because I had my trip, and I did call my doctor, and I scheduled an appointment. So when I had my virtual meeting with my doctor, she didn't really seem that concerned. So she just like prescribed me some like pills that would help with my period cramps. So I was like, whatever. I realized right after like my periods, I've been having pain on the left side of like my uterus, I guess. I didn't know what it was. At first I thought it was my fallopian tube. I don't know why, but that's what I thought. So I'm always like, oh, my fallopian tube's hurting, blah, blah, blah. And it was the pain would like linger for about like 5 days at first. And no painkiller helped. It would come and go. It was super, super weird. Every cycle I had, it just got worse and worse. And 5 days became 10 days. And the pain would be overnight when I'm sleeping. And I would just wake up like crying because of the pain. It was the worst pain. It felt like a knife getting jabbed into your like left side of like your area. I made another appointment, and she told me that I need to go for an ultrasound, and I went. The ultrasound was terrible because I couldn't hold my pee at all. Like, I was shaking because I could not hold it. She said that I had a 9-centimeter cyst and that I will need to get it removed. So after I had my ultrasound, like 2 weeks after, I had to go through another cycle, and I went to the ER because she did tell me like I could have an ovarian torsion, and that like scared the shit out of me. And one night around like, I woke up around like 2 a.m. I had the worst pains, and it was so terrible. I will never forget it. And I was really debating if I should go to the ER or not, but I just went because like fuck it, like I'm scared, and I made my mom take me. And I wasn't having an ovarian torsion, but they did say that like I went to get another ultrasound, they gave me painkillers, and like it went away, thank God. And the cool thing is the fact that I did all my blood work and everything there, so when the surgery came, I didn't have to do any of like the blood work or whatever. So I'm happy I got that out of the way, even though I had to go to the ER. I had to meet up with my surgeon, and she was explaining to me like what she needs to do, blah blah blah. And she said that there might be a risk that I would have to get my ovary taken out, and that really, really scared me. I know on the ride home, I was like crying because I was like, I can't even imagine like not being able to like have kids. Like, that's terrifying to me. You can still have kids if you don't have an ovary because the other ovary like kind of takes over, but still like that's still like scary because like you don't know what's gonna happen. If I get another cyst on the other ovary and then I had to take that ovary out, I won't have any ovaries left. So then the day of the surgery, so I was really, really scared the whole night. Like, I filmed like little videos of me like just ranting because I was so scared, and like I did not sleep the night before whatsoever. And like the process of getting there was fine. Like, my dad drove me because he's a surgeon too, so he drove me on his way to work, and like he was with me like the whole entire time, which was pretty cool. Like, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so they like hooked me up, whatever. I was on the bed, and like my dad was like in and out because he was with other patients, and then he went to check up on me, and I was just like waiting in there. So I am wired up, and I'm fucking terrified, bro. I'm fucking terrified. I hear my father. I literally hear him. He's such a geek. He's so loud. He's literally so loud. I'm with my dad currently. Tata Kaji, hi. Tata Kaji, hi.
Hello. All best.
They put happy juice.
Yeah, happy juice.
But it's not really working that well because I'm still nervous. So yeah, I was like super scared. Like when they put like the little needle like right here, I was like shaking. I was like, like the nurse was like, you know, you can move your hand. I'm like, nah, like my hand's fine right here. Like I'm not moving that hand. And then my dad like asked to give me like happy juice or whatever.
And my happy juice works or not?
Yes, a little bit.
Say something to your mother and brother.
Hi, Mama. Hi, Mama.
You see? Come si piena. Say hi.
Once he gave it to me, I was like in La La Land. I was like so like out of it. Like I felt like I was drunk, but without like the effects of being drunk. So they took me to the back, like in the surgery room, and I just remember them placing me on the table, and I remember them like strapping me down, and I just remember feeling like I was on a cloud. Like I swear to God, I had no idea what was going on. Like I felt like my feet were like sinking into like the table that was on, and they put like the oxygen mask. Oh my God, by the way, like I've never had such crisp oxygen before. That was like the best oxygen I've ever had in my life. Like I don't know what I'm inhaling, but that shit was so good. I thought like going under, I was really scared about going under, but I thought you like ease into it. Like all the movies I've seen, they like slowly close their eyes. So I think I thought that you ease into it. Like I didn't think it was right away. So like she's putting the oxygen mask like tightly on my face, and she's like, breathe in like three times. Like, okay. And I remember taking my second one, and after that I was knocked out. After that I literally don't remember anything. The next thing I like know is I wake up and my head's on like this side, and I just hear them like being like, Emma, like your surgery's done, blah blah blah, and I'm just like completely out of it. I have like videos too. Hi Mama, I'm okay. I'm alive.
Say hello to Bella.
Hi Bella.
Bye bye.
Yeah, it was really bad. She said that I was supposed to have 2 like little incisions on both of like where my stomach is and one in my belly button. So, and she mentioned how one incision will hurt more than the other incision. So when I woke up, the incision that was hurting me was my right one. And so I thought that was like the bigger incision was on the right side. I started like putting my clothes back on, and I just wanted to see, you know, my incisions. So I looked, and there was no incisions where I thought that there was incisions. Like she actually did a bikini cut, which she did not tell me. And thank God she went by my like tan lines, so like when I wear a bikini you can't even see my incision, which is so amazing. But yeah, she gave me like it looks like a C-section scar. Like that's what it looks like, except it's like a little bit smaller and like a little bit lower. Oh my God, when I saw that incision, I actually almost threw up. Like I started feeling lightheaded because I was like, oh my God, it's huge, and I was not expecting it. And then like I saw the one where like my stomach was, which wasn't that bad. Okay, so the recovery process. The worst part about my whole experience was the recovery process. The crazy thing about that is the fact that I did watch like YouTube videos of girls, and they talked about their recovery process, and honestly they said that's not that bad, and like they were just in pain for like about a week and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I bet like it shouldn't be that bad. Boy, was I wrong. That recovery process was like the worst thing I've ever experienced. I could not leave my bed at all for like a week straight. Once I got home, I was like in so much pain. They gave me Oxy, and I hated it because it would make me fall asleep like every 10 minutes. Like I would wake up for 10 minutes and then go to bed or like go to sleep the next 10 minutes. Like it was the weirdest thing ever, and I was so out of it. I like try to make videos, like little videos of me, but like I'm not showing it because I was just completely out of it. Like I like fell asleep while I was like filming at one point. It was so bad. So I just got home. I'm so out of it, bro. My oxy's ready. I keep fucking falling asleep, bro. My mom got me Starbucks, and I can't even talk. Oh, look at Bella. Yeah, it was terrible, and like I couldn't cough, I couldn't laugh, I could barely talk, I couldn't move. Like, you don't realize how much you use your stomach muscles. Like, you use them for every movement possible. So I literally was like paralyzed for days. And whenever I had to use the bathroom, it was terrible. I needed help getting up. I needed help like getting to the bathroom. And then I had to like get help getting back into bed, and it was just so awful. And like I remember my brother making me laugh, and like I screamed in pain. I was crying so much. I'm not trying to scare people, but it was terrible. I want to be like realistic about like what you should expect, because I didn't think it was going to be bad, and then I had a rude awakening. So I don't want people to have the same, like, go through the same thing that I went through. It was really bad. My appetite was fine. I suggest you get stool softeners, because you will have like problems going to the bathroom, and it's awful, like the worst, because then you get pain from that too. And there was one day where I started having like mucus in my throat. Oh, another thing is, like, after surgery you will have like a little sore throat, but that goes away after like 2 days. But yeah, I started getting mucus in my throat, and like if I coughed I would have like the worst pain. So I couldn't cough, and there was moments where it blocked my airway, so I couldn't breathe. That was so scary. Oh my god. And my body like had to make me cough so I could cough, so I can breathe again. It was so bad. That happened like 3 times, but that went away. After like a week exactly, I was able to start like getting up on my own. I still like had a lot of pain, but it wasn't to the point where I needed help getting up. Like, I could still like do it. Like, if I rolled around in my bed, I could get up. And my pain lasted for 2 weeks straight, constantly. Like, it was really bad, and it was really hard because I didn't want to see anybody, because I didn't want them to make me laugh, because laughing was like the hardest part, because I couldn't laugh at all or I'd be in pain. So that was just so hard. I couldn't even watch anything funny. I was like binge watching Breaking Bad. Even though parts are funny, I still like could not laugh. It was more of like a serious show in my opinion. So I like watched the whole entire series within those 2 weeks, but at like the end I was able to laugh again, and it felt really good because I was like depressed those 2 weeks and I wasn't doing anything, and it really like affected my mental health. And when I laughed, like I felt good again, and like I felt like myself again, and I don't know, it like reminded me that like everything was okay. Like during those like 2 weeks there were points where I was like, you know what, the surgery wasn't worth it. I could handle the cyst pain. I never want to go through the surgery, but now looking back, I'm so happy I did the surgery, because I don't have the cyst pain anymore and I feel like myself again. Yeah, so I definitely don't regret the surgery, even though I wanted to die during the recovery process. There were moments like during my recovery process where I was just like, you know what, people are going through worse things. People are dying, people have cancer, and you know, I need to stop being such a bitch and just go through it. But, you know, it is painful, and, you know, it is my first time having surgery, so I think that, you know, I had every right to be, like, in pain. Like, I was in pain, like, I had surgery, and it sucked. Like, honestly, I was lucky enough that they didn't take my ovaries. Like, the surgery went perfectly. Like, I was so blessed. She said that my ovaries look fine. She, like, drained out the cyst and everything. It was, like, 9 centimeters big, which is huge. Yeah, and the cause of it, by the way, was endometriosis. She said she looked around my uterus and said that everything looked fine, so I shouldn't really be concerned about that, but she's gonna have to like she told me that I need to keep an eye out on it in case like I get another cyst or anything, because the cyst was from endometriosis, which is something I didn't know I had. If you haven't been to a gyno yet, I definitely recommend you going because it is very, very important. Don't wait like me and wait last minute, because you will be in pain. And if you get any of the symptoms I talked about, make sure you go right away. Don't wait like me. Like, I made the biggest mistake ever. I was lucky enough that the surgery went well, but that cyst will grow. And yeah, it could go away on its own, but for me, it definitely didn't, and it started giving me the worst pain ever. So I can't stress how important it is to go and check if everything's okay. Get a fucking ultrasound, even if you don't have symptoms. I know ultrasounds are brutal and annoying, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I wish the best of luck for anyone who is going through this experience as well. And just know that it will be worth it at the end, and I'm so happy I did it. This is my experience of getting a cyst removed from my ovary. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's kind of depressing, but I wanted to make a serious video because, you know, I wanted to share my experience, and hopefully some people can relate, some people won't. Maybe your experience won't be as bad as mine. If you guys have any questions about any of this, please don't be afraid to ask them in the comments. I'll also put my Instagram handle so you guys can DM me through that too if you have any questions. I do have pictures of my cyst, so if you guys want to see that, just DM me. I will show you it. I just didn't want to put it in this video because it is kind of like private in my opinion. So yeah, alright, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.